Craig, thank you so much for coming on and leading us through this today. I know you've been doing really, really interesting things with Discord and setting up a project within your organisation, and we're just really looking forward to hearing more about it. So over to you.
All right, great. I'm just going to start sharing my screen, so just give me a second. Hopefully everybody can now see in full screen the first slide. Big bright rainbow, Discord for youth work. Okay, great. So just for those who don't know, that's the Discord logo there in the bottom right, kind of a game console controller. And yeah, it's just important to note, Discord is very much derived from the gaming community, but it's evolved quite a lot since then. So just let me jump into the first slide. Just about LGBT Scotland itself. So we are Scotland's national charity for LGBTI young people aged 13 to 25. We were established 30 years ago, and our main aim is to make Scotland the best place to grow up for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex young people. We do this through youth work services, both face-to-face normally and online, now all online. LGBTI inclusion is driven through schools and organizations with our LGBT charter, which I think some of your organizations may already have. We drive policy development at national level. We work with MSYPs, and we provide support for victims of domestic abuse, homelessness, and bullying. Our digital project in particular, so we offer online support through email, text, and live chat. This is something we've done for several years. We have sessional workers and volunteers managing Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening shifts with a particular focus there on live chat, which is just a tool available on our website where young people can come and get anonymous and secure text-based support. We also work with parents, teachers, social workers, and many others who are looking to support young people. We host a wide range of advice and resources for young people, parents, and schools on our website, which is lgbtyouth.org.uk. And we aim to boost digital skills in young people while empowering our youth workers to use digital tools more effectively in their own work, something that's obviously become even more urgent over the last few months. But something we've always been trying to do is get online youth groups off the ground. Our youth groups, the face-to-face groups, reach hundreds of young people across Scotland on a weekly basis and provide them with incredible opportunities to make friends, build their confidence, and reach goals they might otherwise never have. Sorry, I've got quite a croaky throat today. Just seeing chat coming through, but no, okay, cool. But many young people simply can't reach our groups, aren't allowed to, or are too afraid to. We also know that many of those who do would also benefit from additional contact with our youth workers and each other. So online youth groups of some kind seem to be the best solution there, but we weren't always sure of what the best approach would be. So I went out and did some research. We already have our live chat platform available for one-to-one support. The platform, which is called NenChat, it's a Finnish company that developed this. It's simple, it's secure, and it's anonymous, but it needs to run from our website. We tried running some online groups through it, but as great as it is, most young people won't come to our website to hang out because they're already hanging out somewhere else. So I went around the country and I asked our groups which platforms they were using the most, which ones offered the most secure and accessible engagement and moderation, and which ones they thought we should be using. The answer from them was loud and clear. Every single youth group said Discord is what we needed to look at. I had never heard of it before then, so we didn't rush to any conclusions at that point, but the direction was clearly laid out for us by the young people themselves, and that's what was really important to us. We wanted them to tell us where to find them, rather than us setting up something where they had to find us. So instead of explaining it myself, there's a great little 2-minute video here that just explains what Discord actually is. So just going to pop that on.
Discord is a free voice and text application available for desktop and mobile. Discord is targeted at a gaming audience and has a sleek look and functionality that falls somewhere between Skype and Telegram. When using Discord, you participate in themed servers. Anyone can create their own server after they become a Discord member. You can invite people to join your server with a link. Within a server, admins can create text and voice channels narrowed by topic or restricted by users, like user age. Channel topics and servers don't always have to be related to games. Discord servers and channels exist for a wide range of topics, from music to glitch art, from spirituality all the way to National Novel Writing Month and more. You can also chat privately with people you've added to your friends list. Discord also supports in-game overlays for a number of titles, so you can talk to your friends, your teammates, and fellow players in real time. But you don't have to be using Discord with an in-game overlay in order to participate and share in the fun. Plenty of servers exist for discussion of specific games, let's plays, gaming sites, and more. You can still show off what you're playing at any time. Discord can detect games that you're playing on Steam, for example, or you can specify the activity yourself. Discord also has a number of modes, bots, and apps that can help with automatic moderation and a welcoming of new members, enabling features for streamers, and much more. One downside to Discord is how trolls can target servers with garbage and spam, though you can fight this with moderation, approvals, and bots. Discord is free for everyone, though there are bonus features available with a monthly subscription and perks for special Twitch partners. It is definitely an application to watch.
Okay, so sorry, just gonna have to go back into present mode. So yeah, that basically explains it in a nutshell. I know it's a lot of information in a short space of time, but even since this video was made about 3 years ago, I would say Discord's probably changed a fair bit. It is still very much there for gamers, and there are incredible features there for gamers to use, but that's not the only purpose for Discord. It's very much evolved to become a space for different communities interested in specific topics or themes. And a lot of young people are already on there hanging out with their friends, but also hanging out with people who share common interests with them all around the world. So after learning more about Discord ourselves and deciding that it was probably the best route for us, we still knew very little about actually using it. We set up accounts for our team and tried to incorporate it into our daily use, but it never came naturally to us. So fortunately, we happened to land a big win at around that same time. With an invite to participate in JP Morgan's Force for Good project. That's where teams of graduate developers volunteer their hours every week to work on digital projects for charities. And we got the Discord nodes. Since mid-2019, they've guided us through using Discord, understanding its culture, and developing our very own server alongside a learning hub in Moodle. Then this happened. We had initially planned to launch our Discord server to our existing youth groups in mid-2020, either in June or July, followed by a wider launch inviting new service users onto the platform. We aim to launch it alongside the Learning Hub using Moodle to deliver educational content and workshops with Discord as a social community for further engagement. But then the pandemic happened and our youth groups ground to a halt, and we quickly had to turn our Facebook groups into functioning youth spaces. But the young people hated it. A lot of them just don't use Facebook due to privacy reasons or because they just find it an uncomfortable place to be. But LGBTI young people in particular, the way that Facebook forces you to use the name on your passport sometimes can be quite a problem for young people. And also connecting with an LGBT organization on Facebook can out them ultimately. So there are some serious limitations for us when it comes to using it. But for the first few weeks of lockdown, we had to make the most of using Facebook, but we had to double our efforts as well to launch Discord much sooner than we had initially planned. So just to sort of outline what we had to figure out over the last few weeks. Firstly, and importantly, Discord is weird. I'll admit that. There's no denying how strange it can actually be. It works differently to other social platforms, but its users love that. In the same way that Snapchat became popular among young people because only they could figure it out, Discord has some clever ways of appealing to that sense of exclusivity. But it's more powerful and more accessible than Snapchat by a long way. And don't get me wrong, you can figure it out too, but it is just worth noting that it does try to be a little different. And a great example of that is actually one of their own adverts, which I came across the other day, and I thought was quite funny.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Why are you being stubborn? Why won't you use Discord? Just because it's new? Just because it's fancy and you don't want to use it? That's like your mom coming in your room and being like, yo, here's a new vacuum cleaner to clean your room, child. It's brand new and it's got all these awesome buttons and things. And you're like, no, mom, I got a broom. I'm gonna use this broom to clean my room, mom. That's stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't use a broom. Use Discord.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got a really weird sense of humor, and that really plays out into the way that the whole platform actually works. Young people love that, and there's a whole special culture that is developed within it. So when it came to us developing our own server, we had to think about what channels we were going to include, how to invite users into the server and how to verify them, and how to manage the community once it actually got off the ground. First thing we obviously had to think about was security. And the brilliant thing about Discord is that you can set up any number of roles with extremely precise permission settings. In turn, you can set up your channels to allow some roles in and keep others out. And you can restrict permissions for different people and limit features to certain areas of the server. It's extremely customizable. Now, that does mean that there has to be a bit of work that goes in this initial setting up. But from the user's perspective, once they're in there, it can be an incredibly seamless and tailored experience based on whatever roles they receive. So we set it up to prevent unverified users from seeing the rest of the server, giving youth workers the chance to verify them and add them into their respective youth groups. So what that means is when somebody gets invited into our server, they have a very limited view of what's going on there. There's a welcome message, and they won't be able to see who else is already verified in the server. That gives us a chance to make sure that they are who they say they are, and they are who we meant to invite in, and we can then verify them and add them into their groups. And this is what they'll see at that beginning stage. We have a welcome message from LGBT Youth Scotland that goes out to all of the new users in the system, where we say, welcome to the server, it's good to have you here. We asked them to include their first name in brackets next to their nickname. And what this is about is that users can have whatever username they want in Discord. It's not like Facebook where you have to use your real name and you don't have to provide very much personal information about yourself. And this is what makes it so appealing to young people. It's also what makes it quite secure because there's just not much in terms of privacy that can be infringed upon. But it also means that we need them to just tell us who they are when they arrive, and we have a verification process for doing that. The next step is we ask them to head over to the introductions channel to say hi to us. So they just need to leave their name, their pronouns, what youth group they're in, and what their favorite emoji is. Then a youth worker can go see their message and verify them. And we ask them to be patient because, especially for our youth workers, they've been trying to get used to this. It can take some time to get that done, but it's all been working pretty smoothly. We then say, once verified, you can go and grab your pronouns, age group, and area roles from the bot. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a couple of slides. And then we have some basic rules of engagement. So seriously, hate speech and bigotry will not be tolerated, of course. We ask users to tag us as LGBTYS admin or to tell their youth worker if they see anything that crosses the line. I'll speak a little bit more about how moderation works. We also say that this is early days for our server and it's not yet perfect. So we ask them to share their views with us. Young people know Discord way better than we do, and they have some incredible ideas for getting it to work even better than it currently does. We then have a gay rat in a sheriff's hat, which is a cute little emoji there. And what that shows young people is that we have a whole custom list of emojis that can be used in Discord. It's just one of those quirky features that the platform allows, that you can upload your very own emojis, which young people absolutely love. And then we say, that's all, have fun. And you can see at the bottom there's a whole bunch of reactions, all using some of our custom emoji there. Really just a bunch of excited young people. So we decided to provide a wide range of channels for the young people to use. So those included general chats, age-based and regional chats, as well as channels dedicated to creativity, to learning, gaming, positivity, and venting. So where they can basically just go to complain about life. We also created private channels for each of our youth groups around the country. So each one has a text-based channel associated to it, as well as a voice channel where users can speak freely, and they can also use video or screen sharing capabilities. Now, video has only been launched since the lockdown began. It was a sort of beta feature before, and you could only use it within private conversations, but it's now available within all voice channels in Discord. It basically allows you to feel like you're all in one space together. It's extremely seamless. A youth worker can screen share a video or a presentation, run a workshop. Young people can speak, or they can just type if they prefer that. They don't have to be on camera to engage. It gives you a lot of flexibility in how you can actually participate. I will say that because of the lockdown and because these features have just launched, there have been some connectivity issues, particularly for people who have low bandwidth. I believe Discord's working pretty hard to solve this, but I know there's also a paid version of the platform for about $100 a year, which increases the quality of sound and video. We haven't yet experimented with that because we are doing fine without it, but it is there as an option. We even built a bot to help people fill in their profile and join certain channels. And this is what that looks like. The bot is essentially some written code that you can add into your platform, and it's an automated system for applying certain roles to users. So young people can respond with emojis to select which pronouns they want, what age group they're in, and what areas they live in. And what that will do is it will load that information into their profile as specific roles, and it will also provide them with access to groups or channels rather, which are built for their age range as well as for their areas. When it comes to joining the actual youth groups, though, youth workers can manually give them the role that pertains to their youth group. So it is only available to those members of those groups. In creating rules for the platform, or for our server rather, we've taken a much leaner approach so far. We want to rely on the young people first and foremost. There's a lot of them, and we'll never be able to police everything they do or say in the server without massively reducing their freedoms. Essentially, they're online 24/7, and we can't be. So we're asking them to take responsibility for their own community and to make it a welcoming place for all. Of course, most of them are teenagers, so that will never be perfect, and some level of moderation is still required. And the way we're doing that, because again, 24/7 moderation is not really possible, but Discord does help us in several ways. There's a not safe for work filter, which prevents people from uploading any images that are not acceptable, any explicit content. It's not a perfect tool, it's automated, but it is pretty good at preventing anything that you don't want being uploaded into the server. Unfortunately, it does also register some false positives sometimes, but for the most part, it seems to work quite well. There's a keyword search, so you can quite easily search for any particular words that have been used within the server, and if any of those words kind of cross the line of bullying or anything like that, you can quite easily suss them out and deal with it as it happens. The young people are encouraged to use profanity, trigger warning, or spoiler alerts, which are very basic functions that all of them should be familiar with, but it basically blocks out content that some people might be uncomfortable seeing. We can also mute, kick out, or ban any users who break certain rules, and you have different levels available to you based on whatever rules you have in place. And young people can also tag admins if they have any particular concerns. We will also implement our own systems around daily reviews from admins. We're also trying to develop a program for youth moderators such that young people can volunteer to take on a moderation role, probably on a rolling basis. Month to month, we'll have different groups doing that so that everybody gets a turn and you don't end up with the kind of power struggle within the server. Our volunteers will shortly be helping us keep an eye on the channels as well. Our youth workers are responsible for managing their own groups. They don't need to see what's going on in the general channels. They just look after their own groups. And our digital team, meanwhile, focuses on the general channels. But the really, really important thing here is about culture development. We need young people to tell us how they want the community to work. They have been coming up with rules around how bad language is used. They've been coming up with rules about how to stay on topic in certain channels. And they've been looking at various aspects of the culture that they want to see for themselves. And they can request all kinds of changes as we go along. And I think to me, that's probably the most important thing here is it needs to be self-regulating ultimately, as much as we're there to step in and take control when we need to, especially in any kind of safeguarding situation. This is a community for the young people themselves, and therefore they need to take the responsibility to look after it and make it welcoming for everybody in there. especially given the fact that we've got everybody from 13 through to 25. We need to make sure that those who are younger feel as safe in the platform as anybody else does. And the results so far have been pretty amazing. So it is very early days for us. It's probably been the most exciting few weeks of my time since joining LGBT Youth Scotland. Just in the last few weeks, we've moved around 25 youth groups into Discord so far, with more than 200 young people now online. We expect many more to join us this week, and when it goes public in July, hopefully, hundreds more will start joining. The young people have loved it so far. It's busy, it's noisy, they disagree about some of the rules and the channels, but they're engaging. They're engaging with each other, they're engaging with us. They're making new friends across the country, which was 100% our goal. They're developing the culture for themselves, which we really wanted them to. And we've had reports from youth workers that people who had stopped even coming to our physical youth groups, never mind Facebook groups, have now started participating again. And yeah, it really just has been quite a beautiful thing to see how the youth groups have all started using this tool now, mostly to really, really great effect, despite some of the technological issues with low bandwidth and some youth workers just being really uncomfortable using digital tools. I would say that about 80% of the youth groups have reported completely positive feedback so far, and the rest are solving their issues. So really, really happy to report that it is going well. That's it for the presentation. So thank you very much. I think we can move on to questions.